listeners to Mind Over Matter, the podcast where we explore personal transformation, resilience, and the pursuit of balanced, fulfilling life with the right mindset. I'm your host, Sana, and today we have an incredible guest joining us, Petar Krastev. Now, listeners, let me share a bit about Peter with all of you. He is the founder of Coach PK, a fitness coach, business owner, and a man whose life story is nothing short of inspiring. From extreme hardship to building a thriving business, and in fact, a community dedicated to holistic health, Peter has dedicated himself to helping others transform their lives physically, mentally, and spiritually. And today on Mind Over Matter, we'll be diving into how he built this business, the intersection of fitness and entrepreneurship, and also the role of faith in his journey. So let's quickly get started, listeners. So, Peter, welcome to the show, and it's an absolute honor having you with us.
Thank you. No, it's my pleasure to be here, and I feel honored. Hopefully, I can share some valuable stuff and help somebody else today. Thanks.
Yeah. Peter, starting with your journey, uh, I know it's incredible, and our listeners would be very eager to know. So, what led you to create Coach PK, and what was the defining moment when you realized this was your true calling?
Um, well, the question is good. I think I was meant to do this. This is how my life just happened to go. I always wanted to be entrepreneur, or always wanted to be rich and successful because I don't come from that kind of background. I always aspired to be, but I never had it. And at the age of maybe 18 is when I committed to make a lot of mistakes. I read one book called Rich Dad Poor Dad, and many people have started their journeys from reading that specific book, which is fascinating. So if you don't know it, you should probably do it. Should read it. It's a great book. Opened my mind and made it very clear that now is the time for me to make mistakes and not later. And I took that on board, and that led me to failing in total of 9 different business endeavors. I actually counted them a month ago for the first time, took a pen and paper and listed everything that I started, that I made money off, and I quit or stopped or failed. Whatever the reason, um, it didn't matter. I stopped doing that thing ultimately. And there were nine total things which I put a lot of effort into. Some of them really took off. My last business was with a partner, and it was becoming something very interesting. And then we split up. So I found myself again, starting from zero, and that is 10 years later. I was 28 years old when that happened. And I spent 6 months of my life trying to figure out, what do I want to do with my life? How am I going to make it? What is my next step? Because every decision that I was making, every mistake I was making, it was costing me so much time, and I was very depressed at that time. I had very tough period in my life, not just financially but also personally. And for me, making it was the only option. And these 6 months of thinking led me to understand something about the successful people around the world, because I actually studied them. I looked at those who are successful and who stay successful, not just talk about it, not just come up by some accident. I wanted to see who are those people that just came from nothing, built something amazing, and they just stay there, and nothing can bring them down. Only those I looked at, and they had two common traits. All of them had these two common traits. Funny, I didn't have either of these traits. So I assumed that this is the missing piece. These two traits was they loved what they did, and they never quit. So I was always quitting. Sometimes it wasn't my fault, but I think I took the responsibility of accepting, like, this is my fault. I let this person come into my life, or I let that happen, so that then I had to stop my business or something like that. I just assumed full 100% responsibility. And moving forward, I wanted to pick on something that I'm never gonna stop regardless. And the only thing I could potentially love, which I didn't love back then, and I could do for the rest of my life was sports. Specific type of sport brought me into the game, but I then just expanded a little bit into the whole field. And that's how I just decided to commit to this. I wasn't an athlete. I wasn't having any knowledge and any friends or family members who are athletes. I a pretty average guy who knows absolutely nothing, but I had my passion and my dedication to succeed. And doing this is what led me to create this Coach PK. Also, we have the Limitless Body Mind. The podcast right now just launched a month and a half ago, so it's an amazing podcast. You should go listen to it. Um, yeah, that dedication. Then just I started learning, developing, practicing myself, never stopping, and ultimately, I realized I have to help people, and it became a coaching practice out of me just trying to serve people the best way I can, very naturally. This is how it started, and this is how it goes now. I'm still dedicated, still fully committed, and it's great. Still have my challenges, but I enjoyed. I do what I love.
That's that's uh, that's really an amazing journey, Peter. And I must say that there is a confidence of an entrepreneur with the humility, um, as in the humbleness and accountability and vulnerability as well. Because nine attempts, nine ventures, and people do not tend to share their failures. They tend to share more about their success. But the hard work, the journey beyond that, behind that success achieved, it takes years and years. So thank you so much for sharing that. And um, when we talk about entrepreneurs in general, uh, mm, they mainly struggle with time management, which especially when we are talking about juggling between fitness, health, and then the roles of being an entrepreneur. So how do you personally structure your day to ensure both your health and business thrive?
Well, it's very simple, very profound way that I have, and everybody has to understand it at some point because I feel like it's the only way, and it's very much a common sense approach. First of all, you have to maintain your body at the highest capacity, health, at highest health. So it has the highest capacity to take on a lot of responsibilities, do a lot of work, stay healthy, and perform for a longest period of time, which means you have to be training. Your body doesn't stay just fit on its own, especially if you have a very sedentary lifestyle. You have to be doing a specific type of training that promotes longevity and good health. And training is a mandatory part of my schedule, my business schedule, my personal schedule. It is in my calendar, and that's how it's in my clients' calendars. Training is taken very, very seriously and is the foundation of creating my daily schedule. The first question, I actually have the freedom to ask that question. For many of you, you won't have that freedom, but I personally, I can determine when I work and I ask the question, what time is best for my training? So I put my training in the best slot possible for the training to be executed with perfection, to be performing at a high level. So I know it's done. And it's done through scheduling, schedule that you create to optimize your performance during specific hours of the day and sticking to that schedule in planning your weeks. So let's talk about the schedule quickly first. Super, super important. You have a consistent schedule that is designed around your circadian rhythm, if possible. Circadian rhythm is something that we have. It's in a system of the body that predicts the future, and it prepares you for specific moments in the day, in the night. It can regulate your temperature, it can regulate your focus, your energy levels, your ability to do specific tasks like creativity or just do huge volumes of tasks. And when you acknowledge that you have that system and you start observing it, you'll notice that you have hours of the day where you perform very good at tasks that require a lot of volume, a lot of hard work. And then maybe in the afternoon, you're completely incapable of doing such work. but then you might be good at something else. In the late afternoon, you might find that you're good at just taking a few calls, or maybe just working on your website. You have you have these moments in the day which you can recognize you perform at a different level and you're good at different things, and start from there and create some sort of a routine that ensures every day you do the important work that you have to do. You do some work on your growth and just ensuring that you get the work done, and stick to that schedule so your circadian rhythm can adapt, so you can also habitually adapt. And from something that is a hard hard thing to maintain, like a hard task to maintain, if you maintain it for a long enough time, it becomes very habitual and very easy as everything else. So scheduling and committing to your schedule is a massive thing. And then the one also, like, it's like a life hack. The one thing that most people don't want to do is just write your weekly goals at the end of the week every Sunday, and also have daily tasks on a small notepad. I have a big notebook which I use to write my weekly goals, tasks that I have to do, and then I have my small one, the daily one, and the weekly one is the most powerful hack of all the hacks and tips and tricks that you ever learn, as long as you apply it. It Writing down your weekly goals, it doesn't even mean you completing them. Just write them down. Just put them visibly and say, this week I'm going to attempt to complete these goals. This creates different mentality. You start the week without wondering what you're going to do. You start with a lot of clarity, and you actually are excited because you have this list there. It's like a game, and your mind works things and finds different ways to get that job done. And sometimes you fail, especially the first weeks. You might find that you're failing on the tasks, but you perform at the same time much better in comparison to you not doing the list in the first place. You always perform so much better if you have a list of tasks to complete, that your performance will always be so much higher. And if you do that consecutively on a few weeks, it's gonna go through the roof, and you'll start being a very high performing individual doing a lot of work. It's a massive hack. So if you have the schedule, if you have your trainings that you do, and you create your goals every single week, nothing can stop you. It's so easy to be advancing at a very high speed. Most people don't do it. I don't know why, but that's it. Simple things make the difference. These kind of things.
You rightly said simple things make the difference, and I absolutely am a huge advocate for the old school method of writing everything down, because um I don't know, writing on a notebook or diary or anything with pen, pencil, anything, I think that gives a much, much better clarity than having a digital organizer or maybe a calendar. I don't know. I actually strongly advocate. So
Yes.
thank you for sharing this approach. I mean, it's really, really great to know that you have actually you have made your fitness regime, daily fitness regime as a non-negotiable. So I think that's really a great approach, Peter.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Also,
100.
yeah, I was saying something.
No, saying 100%. I confirm that. I agree with you.
Also, in the fitness industry, you have actually built a successful brand. Um, I think the this industry uh, is quite cluttered, so it becomes really, really an uphill task to build a unique brand, uh, of your own. So, what were some of the biggest challenges, Peter, you faced while scaling your business? How did you overcome them?
Well, always it's paying the bills, right? That's every business. That is the biggest challenge. You finding new clients, getting paid again, and that's that's forever always the one challenge that you have. But what made the difference for me, and why my reputation is being maintained over the years and only growing, is that I never cut corners when it comes to delivering my services. It doesn't matter how much I struggle in my business, how hard times I had financially, I made sure that every single person I worked with or worked with was receiving the highest possible standards I can deliver in terms of advice or help, training sessions, coaching sessions, whatever it was. I just was making sure I give everything I have. I recognize that this business is more than a marathon. It's a lifelong journey. It can take so long, especially me starting from zero and developing something that is big. That who knows how long it's gonna take. And I've accepted that. So I knew I'm gonna have hard financial times, but I cannot afford to cut corners delivering high quality service and just working on improving it all the time. So yeah, a lot of coaches, a lot of service-based businesses, maybe even product-based businesses, they do focus a lot on the sales, which is great. I believe that's a good approach. But sometimes they really they don't they don't focus on the quality as much because only all they think about is the numbers, and that creates that bitter taste of bad experience in the mouth of a lot of people who have tried their services. And that's where these rumors about bad coaching and that coaches are not good and that these services scam, that's where it all comes from people who want to make money out of an industry that is very lucrative. It can provide a lot, but also comes with a lot of responsibility, and they just don't want the responsibility. They want just the money. So yeah, that was just a bit of some of my thoughts, how
Well,
things should be done versus how it is actually done in most places.
I absolutely agree with you. I think that uh, approach creates the the longevity or the sustainability of the business, and especially since in service industry you have to be 100, not exactly 100, maybe more than that. You have to be very much customer centric, client centric. So if the service or the quality is not good, then there is no point of working on creating a pipeline of maybe 100 new more customers if your product or service is not good at all. It's just a short term approach that can be looked at,
Yeah.
but in the long run it's going to definitely uh
Let me
harm.
tell you something, that there is a study, that's probably more than one studies that have studied the longest lasting corporations in the world. And you know who are the longest ones that have survived the most? It's the investment banks. And you know why the investment banks? What is the one thing that they have? Why is everybody going to JP Morgan to invest? Why are they going to Goldman Sachs to invest, giving them money just to manage their money? Is the answer is in one word, and that is the word that matters the most in life and in business. It's reputation. They have reputation. They preserve their reputation. And those businesses who look there after their reputation and they maintain it high, very, very, very high, and don't let anything hurt it, those are the ones that have a highest chance of lasting for a long time, as long as they can also handle the pressure at the same time. Most people can't handle the pressure of a business, especially starting from zero, because it's very hard. You have to learn a lot. You have to be on the edge all the time. Most people they think they want to, but there is a reason why most businesses fail, right? That is the reason. They just can't handle the pressure of growing and learning and making mistakes and paying for these mistakes all the time. Yeah.
That's a very useful insight. Very useful insight, Peter. Okay, also another significant part of your journey is your faith. And uh, how has your relationship with God influenced the way you run your business and coach your clients as well?
Well, I'm a Christian believing in Jesus, right? That is my faith. And Since I found him, I would say he has influenced my business and my life more than anything. I don't think my relationship with God, particular, has just done something. There's something about the faith that I have that it gives you life. It makes everything that I touch work. So it's massive. It made me a better person. It opens doors for me. It keeps me safe from making mistakes with people and with my own decisions. So it's the most important part of my life. That's that I have to say, and I don't think I can do that without it. So,
Very powerful.
oh yeah,
And talking about, since our podcast is all about mind over matter, you strongly emphasize about on mindset and resilience in your coaching. So what do you think is the key factor in helping people break through their mental barriers?
the key factor. Well, understanding them for so it's a good one.
Mhm.
Understanding them and wanting to help. You can start from there. Everyone can start from there and then become better at helping them. I think it's very individualistic how you're going to help people, the way you're going to do it. There's countless ways to do that. In my experience, men are best helped by men and women are best helped by women because regardless how much the world is trying to equalize us and make us all the same, that's a false concept. Nothing true in it. We're different people. Women needed something from life. Men need something else. We do things differently. We do make decisions differently. We do aspire for different lives. So we have different bodies, different hormones, or different hormonal balance, let's say, which makes us so different. So we have, yeah, to help somebody, you have to want it, you have to understand him. And if you're a woman trying to coach people, men, yeah, that I always found very weird, to be honest. My personal experience, I love women. They can coach me in many things, but I think they more can teach me some tricks. They can teach me some methodologies. They can teach me some profound ideologies, but I don't think they can connect with the man inside me. Only a man can do that. And vice versa. I don't think I can understand a woman the same way a woman can understand another. I can pretend I do. I can learn all I came from the books, but I don't think I'm just going to connect that way. And for a job like mine, which requires to to understand people so they grow, so they become something better, I need to understand them in a profound level, like as deep as possible. It's super important. And that's where being a man, helping men, it becomes very handy. I also work with some women, but the connection with them is never the same. So it's always a different type of experience. I rely on that they listen to what I say. Whereas man, if they don't listen to what I say, I can make them listen. I can I can change their mind. I can work with them. With women, I they don't let me. So it's a simple example. Hope that answered the question.
And definitely, and I think it's a straight it's a straightforward, direct, uh, approach. Uh, Although uh, there can be inspiration from the other gender, but I think it's pretty straightforward. It's something which it is what it is. Uh, and I'm really, really happy that you made this point, because sometimes, uh, you know, in terms of equalizing things and everything, the actual aim or output is diluted. So I think you made a very, very important point here. And yeah, I mean, thank you for mentioning this. Thank you for sharing this, Peter. And also, talking about your limitless body and mind retreats, I think it definitely sound like a fantastic initiative. So, can you tell us more about what happens at these retreats and why they are so effective for high achievers?
Yeah, their retreats are the best thing that we've done so far. It's been absolutely life changing every single time for me and for everyone else. And they actually say that. Um, on the retreats, we practically get together people from the community and we spend the 5 days, 5 nights together in a location around the world. We've been in Bulgaria twice, this year again in a beautiful place. And we have a routine of like waking up early at the same time, just training and doing some mental exercises, talking and discussing things and learning from one another. We have business mastermind sessions within the retreats, which are very powerful. And we do share a lot of stories. And that time together, when executed with some structure, it's very, very powerful. You're getting together business leaders from around the world, which is who I work with. I practically focus only on people who have some key role in the business, either running their own, it could be anything small or big, and we have them all. We have people from different cultures. There's I have a huge variety of people who have all sorts of health challenges like diabetes, like heart attacks, like strokes, like any sort of health challenge, really. And any culture we have, only Africans that I don't have yet, but I have people from around the world and other countries. But the one thing that connects them, they're all some sort of entrepreneurial minds. They have key roles in their business. They might be working for somebody, but they still have that key role and they aspire to be great and to be better. And usually people like that have a, a struggle to find other people like themselves. We tend to be like not the average person you meet on the streets. The average person you meet on the street usually has a job and doesn't want a headache and wouldn't understand a lot of the things that you do because he's not as committed to understanding. And you're putting them to suddenly together and keep in mind that maybe some of them know each other from online meetings, putting them together in a very nice, luxurious place, like a very great experience. It's a it's an experience of itself, and then guiding them through something life changing as a the whole 5 day thing experience. And that leaves a footprint in their life. It's
Mhm.
changing them in such a great way, and they learn a lot as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, yeah, that definitely that's really exciting, and it definitely sounds like a life-changing experience, Peter.
Mhm.
So before we wrap up, so how can people connect with you, Peter, and how can they learn more about your programs?
Yeah. The best thing you can do right now is subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is new and currently only posting the Limitless Body Mind podcast. And my YouTube is Peter Fitness. Type in Peter Fitness, it's gonna come up. Or my name too is gonna come up. And Peter is with an A, so search for that. And if you want to get in touch directly and just chat with me on WhatsApp or just apply for coaching, go to pk.coach. That's my website, www.pk.coach. Very easy to get in touch and see if I can help with any other way. Or just listen to the podcast. It's absolutely golden. A lot of value in that podcast. It's nothing like you've ever seen. I have a lot of
Mhm.
practical and strategic advice. In the first season is all about weight loss, and I'm going through the whole journey of just having the idea of losing weight until you lose and you completely transform, which is very insightful from a coaching perspective. I'm not like I'm different type of content, not what you see when you look for videos like how to lose weight, because most of them are like giving you a lot of advice based on science, which is great, but they don't give you the application part, how to actually apply it. And this is what I do in this podcast. So it's a lot of value. Go have a look. Also, it's called Limitless Body Mind. You can find it in any platform, including YouTube.
Lovely. We'll have all the details in the show notes, Peter. And thank you so much for this valuable conversation. I believe your story of resilience, faith, and entrepreneurship is truly, truly, truly inspiring. And I know our listeners will take away so much from this episode. So thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Sana, and thanks to the listeners. I'm looking forward to meeting some of you. Thank you.
And to everyone listening, if you found this episode helpful, be sure to subscribe to Peter's podcast and also refer to the show notes if you wish to explore more about his programs and or maybe connect with him. And if you wish to see and listen to more such conversations on Mind Over Matter, please be sure to subscribe to us, leave a review, and let us know how we are doing. Until next time, stay mindful and keep living with purpose. Thank you.